Matthew begins his Easter story with an earthquake. So let me begin by saying something about earthquakes. An earthquake is something that happens deep in the bowels of the earth, whose effects are felt on the surface of the earth where we live. Now let me ask you to hold the word earthquake and the word heavenquake until later in the sermon, because we have to begin Easter on Good Friday, AD 33. That first Easter begins with the world still living in a Good Friday reality. And Good Friday ended with Jesus' lifeless body buried in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea and sealed behind a stone. Let me say something about that stone. That stone is quite possibly as old as the earth itself and has probably existed since the beginning of time. Through bacteria, asteroids, dinosaurs, woolly mammoths, Neanderthals, humans, you name it. That stone has seen them all. And it is this stone that now seals the tomb of the late, he wasn't even great, but the late Jesus of Nazareth. And this stone is big. It's very big. So let me say something about stones. A stone is a piece of rock that's been worked into a specific size and shape for a particular purpose. And the stone, now sealing the tomb of Jesus, have been worked for the specific purpose of ensuring the dead, lifeless body of Jesus remained entombed where it had been placed forever. This particular stone was the final statement. This stone was a punctuating period on Jesus' life and death. And by Good Friday's end, it was clear this stone wasn't going anywhere ever. Let me ask you to consider the power this stone represented, first to the Roman and Judean authorities. In 33 AD, that massive stone represented control, total control, complete authority, and ultimate power over all that was. That stone meant Jesus could no longer go around stirring up the crowds, inflaming the masses, and perverting the faith. You see, Jesus came preaching things like, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Jesus came healing on the Sabbath day, running out the money changers, cleansing the temple, and the ruling authorities believed Jesus was undermining their authority. Their power was all about the here and now, about gold and glory, about what one can get, possess, own. And Jesus came challenging the importance of those earthly things. So, putting Jesus to death and placing his lifeless body in a tomb and sealing that tomb behind an unmovable stone meant the ruling authorities didn't have to worry about Jesus anymore. That massive stone meant anybody who dared question their authority, no matter how strong, powerful, or mighty, could expect an unmovable stone to seal their fate and put them in their place. Let me ask you now to consider what that stone represented to those three Easter women, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Solomon, who journeyed to the tomb of Jesus early on that first Easter morning, asking themselves, who will roll away the stone for us? Their coming to the tomb to anoint Jesus' body was an act of gratitude, an act of grace and beauty in the face of Good Friday's defeat and death. And so coming to anoint the body of Jesus was a way of keeping alive something these three women could not yet wrap their heads around, that Jesus had been crucified and his body was now sealed behind a stone they could not possibly move. For these three women, that stone represented grief. That unmovable stone represented the love they'd lost and the hope they placed in Jesus. These three women had found in Jesus a life they had never known before. They had found in Jesus a life that gave meaning to their lives. They had found in Jesus a hope they never imagined and a love they believed could never, ever die. But die it did. Life, hope, love, they all died on that Good Friday. All their dreams were now entombed behind a massive, unmovable stone. And on Good Friday, the ultimate symbol of death's final sting and the grave's ultimate victory was that massive, unmovable stone sealing the tomb of Jesus. That's what the stone represented to those three women. Now I'd like you to consider what that stone means to you. Because we all have stones in our lives, made up of broken promises, dashed hopes, unfulfilled dreams, and the stones always seem so massive and unmovable. And that's probably because we lack the imagination, no, the faith to see through the stones and around the stones and forget about ever seeing them move. Think for a moment about what is weighing on you that seems unmovable. Is it the status of your health, your finances, your family, your faith? Is there a massive, unmovable stone separating you from God and the deeper, richer, more meaningful life that God promises? Only you can answer what your unmovable stone represents to you. And finally, I want you to ponder what that stone represented to Jesus. On Good Friday, Jesus died, disowned by humanity, deserted by divinity, and entombed by the authorities behind that massive, unmovable stone. So for Jesus, the stone was a contradiction. For Jesus, that stone was the antithesis of everything Jesus came to bring and to bring about. That stone sealing his tomb represented his separation from humanity and his disconnect from the God who sent him to save humanity. That massive, unmovable stone was the very thing that separates God from the Son, and the Son from humanity, and humanity from creation. And that just isn't right. In fact, that's just plain wrong. Because I'm certain I read somewhere, and perhaps you heard it this morning, someone asking, is there anything that can separate us from God? And the answer came back, no, nothing. Not death, nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor heights, nor depth, nor anything else in all of creation. I want to say that again. Nothing in all of creation. And what that means is that unmovable stone, it too is part of God's creation. And because it is part of God's creation, it too must respond to God. And so I can just hear the voice of God saying, and now, you big, mighty stone. Yes, you may have existed since the beginning of time. And yes, you stone, you may have seen bacteria, asteroids, dinosaurs, woolly mammoths, Neanderthals, and humans come and go. But now you big, can't be moved stone, It's time for you to roll, to roll, because nothing, and especially not a God-created stone, no matter how unmovable it claims to be, can separate us from God. And now stone, just as the cross became not a symbol of death, but of life, so now, you unmovable stone, you are now the symbol that nothing can separate Jesus from God or God from any one of us. So now, watch that stone, because it's rolling. It's rolling. It's rolling. And I want you to watch it roll away. Watch it roll away your shattered dreams. Watch it roll away your missed opportunities. Watch it roll away your dashed hopes. Watch it roll away your old wounds. Watch it roll away your nagging fears about money. Watch it roll away your fears about the fragility of love, and watch it roll away your anxieties about your own mortality. Watch that massive, someone said, unmovable stone roll, roll, roll away. I know it's hard to imagine a future without that massive slab of stone weighing you down, but it's Easter. And it's already doing something it isn't supposed to do. It's rolling away. That stone is rolling. I know you've always felt afraid to entrust your body and soul to the God of Good Friday. The same God who left Jesus lying behind a massive, unmovable stone. But that's only because you're not looking, because the stone is rolling. It's rolling away, and I want you to watch it roll. Watch it roll and unravel your grief. Watch it roll and mend your broken hearts. Watch it roll away sickness and sorrow and sadness. I want you to watch that so-called never can move stone roll. And I want you to feel your heart bursting with joy as you watch it roll away. And I want you to know, I want you to believe beyond the shadow of a doubt that nothing in life, nothing today, nothing tomorrow, and nothing in all of creation can hold steady or stand against the God who causes heaven quakes. Now earlier I said that an earthquake is about something that happens deep in the bowels of the earth, whose effects are felt on the surface of the earth where we live. Well, Easter is about a heaven quake. And a heaven quake is about something that happens deep in our hearts, in the bowels of our beings, that transforms our lives. And when a heaven quake happens, things move and nothing remains the same. It's Easter. It's Easter. There's been a heaven quake, and Jesus is risen from the dead, and he lives. He lives. My sisters and brothers, it's Easter, and Easter is the day of the rolling stone.